Everybody, we are so back. It feels like it's been about 5 years, but the boys are back. Jeffrey is looking thick as always. How we doing today, buddy? Looking good back there. Looking good.
Great.
Got a whole mouthful of something that you shouldn't eat at 12:02. It's 12:02, Jeff. It's 12:02. The people want it. There's 6,000 people in here right now.
You cut the song short. I was on time. I was fine. The last
Absolutely
fight
not.
that I had, you cut it short on
Absolutely
purpose
not.
just to put me in this fucking situation right now.
Absolutely not, Jeff. I would never want to put you in a position that doesn't make you look good, as hard as that may be. But absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't believe it.
What do you think? Hey, everybody, you got 6,000 people in the stream right now. Awesome. Good to have everybody back. Hope everybody likes the new updated logo. Looking good.
The thumbnail's good too. It looked nice.
Bro, yeah.
I liked it.
You know, we decided to come back with a little bit of a vengeance here. You know, maybe spruce it up a little bit, be a little bit more, shall we say, professional? Should we say that?
I guess say professional in a non-professional manner is something to think about.
Yeah, you went over my head on that one. Nice to see that. What's up, Buff? Welcome in, buddy. Good to have you. Already planning out that fantasy draft. I know Buff's already got his 50,000 sheets out. He's already got his.
This man pulled up to the golf course yesterday with a fantasy podcast on full blast. I was like, "Are you listening to a fantasy podcast?" He goes, "Yeah, of course." And I think it's sad.
Was it his own podcast?
Maybe this has been my downfall in the past few years, is that I no longer consume that content. I don't.
Well, you make the content now, Jeffrey.
I don't consume it anymore. And that's
you don't need to consume when you're at the top of your game.
For me, it's a very different thing for me. So,
I look at it this way. You know, as great as I consider myself, you, Buff, maybe even TJ as well, a little bit on the sports world and having our own podcast. Like, it is at times necessary to get just a little bit of input in there, right? To maybe hear that little snippet that you weren't necessarily thinking about.
A sliver of news.
Like Parker Washington starting to dominate in the Jags. But that's a whole different story. We're going to get into that.
Like the Jags having Bilal Tootin basically be the every down back. And then once they get down to the goal line, they put another guy in, Chris Rodriguez, and then they have another guy who's the third down back. So, yeah, like certain nuggets like that, you know, they come into play.
But will it translate over to the field? We shall find out. But first, I noticed that Jeffrey is finally wearing some great apparel on the show. I couldn't help but notice right over your heart, Jeffrey, the Michael Jordan logo. Jeff, let's start off with it. We haven't been on in a while. Let's talk about it. LeBron James leaves LA for Philadelphia. Jeff all of a sudden starts wearing Michael Jordan gear. This cannot be just a coincidence. Jeff, Let's hear it, brother.
I mean, so in terms of the move, I thought that it was a terrible move. I thought there was for the legacy that is LeBron James.
Okay.
As somebody who has been a supporter and somebody who thinks that he should have been considered in the GOAT conversation with Michael Jordan and has stood on that hill for the past 10 years, ever since he won that championship in Cleveland. This is a terrible thing, in my opinion. If you went back to Cleveland, right? Cleveland, who needed a small forward. They had Dean Wade last year, who was terrible. He can't compete with OG Anunoby. But if you go to Cleveland, right, to finish the circle and the end of your actual career, hold on one second for me. Sorry about that.
I'm just going to jump in while Jeff's wrangling his children.
Yeah, it's not even my children either is the issue. It's somebody else's children. But whatever, it's fine. So to complete the thought, listen, you could have gone back to Cleveland, right? You complete the circle of the entire career. Let's say that you go back to Cleveland now and you actually win a championship, right? Let's say that you go back and somehow you're a finals MVP on a team that was right there with the Knicks last year, that in my opinion was a small forward away from really being able to compete with them. Okay, well, now you're back in the conversation of, man, he went back to Cleveland. He did this at 42 years old. He got finals MVP. He led a team to a championship again that he went back to. Now that's a conversation. You go to Miami, I get it. You go to Miami, you want to be in South Beach, you're in their golf career now, fine. You want to go play with Steph and finish your career and have that out in Golden State and play with Draymond and whatever you want, I get it. I have no problem with it. The fact that you bitched out and you went to the East Coast to go to a different team all the way across the country from not only your family, but your entire fan base that you've generated. You have no ties to Philly whatsoever. You so have no ties to Philly. You're not even going to fucking live in Philly. You're going to live in New York.
Yes.
And you're going to commute in 45 minutes on a helicopter. That worked out great for some people, huh? Listen.
Woo!
It's the biggest bitch move I've ever seen in my life from an athlete. And I get it. People are like, listen, it's the best team. And I'm like, you know what? It's crazy.
Is
like,
it?
why would, we're sitting here and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, man, LeBron's finally a free agent. There's no way he's going to choose the team that has the most talent, that is the most ready to win right now an NBA championship, and so on and so forth. Except that he did it every time he's been a free agent. Every time he's been a free agent, he has done this shit. He went to Miami to join a super team. He goes to Cleveland, where he knows he can control shit. They ship Andrew Wiggins out. They get Kevin Love in. Now you have Kyrie Irving. You're good to go. Now you go to LA, who has Anthony Davis, and you're able to team up and create a super team over there and win a championship with them. It's abhorrent. And I don't think that there's any way that I can sit here and continue to say that defend him in that manner, that he should be up there with a guy like Michael Jordan. I just can't. And it pisses me off. And you know what it sucks? It sucks for the people like me who have sat here and defended him for the past 10 years and stand for him and been like, look, we got to, numbers matter. What happens on the court, I can see with my own eyes. By the way, LeBron, I get it. If he plays 70 games this year and averages 6 assists a game, which he's going to average way more than that, he'll be number 2 all-time in assists as well, too. So you're going to have a guy who's number 1 in points, number 2 in assists. It's going to be very hard to argue in 20 or 30 years, except for those of us who know, who live this, who watch him become a little bitch and just ring chase because he has such little self-confidence in himself that he has to go do this to feel fulfillment. It's really sad. It's Iceman season. Fuck LeBron James.
I mean, welcome. This is what, we've been saying this again. This is the beginning. Like you said, he is the creator of the super teams. I could have thought that, going back to the Cavaliers would have been absolutely perfect. But I don't mind him ring chasing at this point in his career. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, what else are you playing for? You're 42 years old. You're signing a 2-year contract. You should go to the best team. However, I do feel like just going to the 76ers was just like, okay, that's the best team, but you could have done it in Cleveland. Cleveland isn't far apart. Who knows how long Embiid's going to play? Is Embiid healthy? You still have Jaylen Brown. You still have Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, which if that 5 is healthy, that is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, let's just be clear there. But to your point, for sentimental value to go out the way that you came in, I think Cleveland was the obvious choice.
Yeah, it's not even sentimental value to me. I think it's no longer results oriented whatsoever. He's not changing anybody's mind when it comes to this narrative now that he made this move.
I
What
don't
I'm
think he
saying is
changed
that
anybody's mind before that, besides
well,
George, actually.
but what I'm saying is that if he went to Cleveland, right? If he goes to Cleveland, or if he goes to Miami, or even if he goes to Golden State, and somehow he is a top 20 player in the NBA and he leads them to a championship and Finals MVP and so on and so forth, now there's a narrative that can be spun there. But the fact that you're going to be the fifth option on a team to somewhere where you have no ties to whatsoever, I just think it's abhorrent. I think it's no longer results oriented. If he wins a ring here, nobody's going to care. Like, we're not going to, it'll be on the numbers thing, just like everything else, but it's not going to actually matter and have any sustenance to it whatsoever.
I think that anywhere outside of Cleveland that he would have if he would have won a ring didn't matter anyway. I think, to your point, I don't think you're changing a lot of people's minds about the LeBron versus Jordan debate. I know I sent something out in the group about this kid that literally broke it down, and that kid was far more knowledgeable. He was definitely not an uninformed fan. He was throwing out stats after stats. And I think when it comes down to it, you talk about, scoring points and being the assist leader. He's also played in the league longer than anybody else. Okay, so there is that thing to be like, okay, he's been played, he's done this. But I think one of the kid's biggest points was when it comes to the GOAT debate, there's no denying the impact of Michael Jordan versus LeBron James on the game of basketball. There's just, I don't think there is. Again, and now you got this where he goes there. And let's be, I just don't think that this automatically crowns Philadelphia either, because they do have a great starting five. But what is their depth like after that? There was also, the Rich Paul or whoever his agent is that, basically is like the runs the NBA now or whatever you want to call it, says that he was going to go to the New York Knicks if they wouldn't have won that championship.
Bullshit.
I can see that as well, because he wants to go to another big market team. To your point, he's spreading his seeds all around. The biggest loser is obviously Bronny James, who is now going to be relegated to the F League or whatever else it is. But let's talk about this. Okay, well, so
he announced that he was leaving the Lakers the day after Bronny's contract became guaranteed.
Well, probably before he got let go. I mean, that's like also I signed the severance, but I chose to leave on my own terms. Sure, you did. You signed that severance agreement. But let's talk about the East for a little bit here, Jeff, because obviously the Boston Celtics made some moves as well, unloading Jaylen Brown for a bag of potato chips. But I also hear, Jeff, that, obviously we get Paul George for that, who a little bit past his prime, then obviously Jaylen Brown finals MVP. But my wife tells me that there's rumors, Jeff. Now, maybe you can help me determine this is real or not, that the Boston Celtics would like to attain the talents of one Steph Curry. Have you heard this?
I have not heard that rumor, no.
Maybe my wife is just talking smack.
I also don't think that Steph would go to Boston.
She just yelled, "It's true." Oh, well, there it's coming up on the Google search. But just purely speculation. Oh, they're playing golf together. That's what it was. But yeah. That would have been kind of nice.
I mean, if you really want to speculate, Steph Curry owns a house here in Orlando. So
yeah, that ain't gonna work. Giannis also traded to the Heat, Jeffrey.
That was a real rumor, TJ. I didn't hear it at all.
Yeah.
Must have flown by my Twitter feed.
There's a lot of things. 2 days ago, Celtics may have hidden Steph Curry motive in Warriors trade talks. They're trying to trade for him. We'll see. That could be something that you hear here first. Giannis to the Heat, Jeff. How do you like that one, buddy? They finally get him out of Milwaukee.
I think it's a terrible fit, but whatever. I mean, Giannis will be happy. They're not going to win anything there. They don't have shooting. They're going to rely on Norman Powell to, I guess, be the microwave every single night and pour it in. I was on vacay. Yeah, right.
Man lives on vacation.
Never on vacation, bro.
Really? Because I remember I have to change in the fantasy draft 5 different times because you're in 5 different countries.
I'm not in 5 different countries. I'm in one country. I'm going to be in Brazil. I mean, I take a vacation normally around my birthday in the first week of September every single year because it's super slow times. And it's
also
right around
the first week of football. Very, very poor planning.
It just so happens to coincide with each other. That's not my fault. That's football's fault.
It is. No, it is your fault.
When else do you want me to go? I didn't choose the wedding date.
I was going to say you probably also planned weddings during football seasons.
I wasn't like, oh, you know what? You should get married on September 5th in Trancoso, Bahia, Brazil. Like,
you know what I did, Jeff? My wife tried to get married during football season, and I said absolutely not. That's why we got married in February.
There was like 4 people at your wedding. It was on a beach.
Exactly.
It's not like you were taking up people's time.
Why do you think we didn't have a real wedding, Jeff? Because I did not want to put out an invitation where somebody had to choose to watch college football, NFL football.
You just said you got married in February. Drunk.
What's that?
Anyway. Fine.
Right by Super Bowl. Yeah, so Jeff, let me ask you this question. So obviously all of the NBA stuff is kind of finalized here. Who's the favorites out of the West now? I mean, Ja Morant. I
think you still got to give it to San Antonio. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I think you still got to give it to San Antonio. I think they still have a great young team, great young nucleus. Obviously, Wemby signs an extension to go with
Not the Thunder, huh?
No. The Thunder just had to trade Lou Dort, and this is what I talked about before, is that we're going to get to a point now where we're going to have the Thunder are going to have too many assets and too many contracts that they have to figure something out. There's a salary cap at the NBA. There's a hard cap. How much do you want to overpay on that super luxury tax as well too? So it's a problem. And listen, they had to get rid of Lou Dort. He was a key defender, a key cog in their entire defensive scheme. He's gone now to Atlanta. So, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, Atlanta gets back the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft from a few years ago in Rissacher or whatever. I don't even know how you say his name, who hasn't panned out in Atlanta, and they get a supreme talent back. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. Supreme talent, but I mean, it's turned out to be. So is Mario Hezonja, who played for the Magic, right? Like he won dunk contest, won 3-point contest over in the Euros. Was literally just the MVP for the Euros this past summer. Didn't pan out in the NBA. Now he's back at the NBA. Yeah. I think with somebody I saw he signed with, but.
Well, I think I about it. So does the NBA doesn't have a hard cap?
The NBA does have a hard cap, but you can get into different thresholds of the luxury tax. Where you have to pay a lot more.
So if the cap is $500 million per year, then like anything over 400 starts into the luxury taxes.
No, if the cap's $500 million a year, you're fine as long as you're at 500 or under. Now, if you go above 500, let's say you go to 600 million, there's a tax on that. Let's say you go to 650, there's an extra tax on that.
So there's not a hard cap then.
You can't go to a certain spot.
It's not like NFL. NFL is like let's just say 50 million. You cannot go over 50 million.
The NFL is not 50 million.
I said Jeff. It's like 235 million or 232 if you want to be exact. I apologize. So the NFL cap is $232 million. You cannot go over that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Spurs are still the favorite.
Okay. What about the East?
The Sixers. Not only did they add that, but they also added guys like Anthony Simons on really small, team friendly deals that are prove it deals as well too. He got traded to the Celtics. Or he was a big signing for the Celtics last year. Coming up, and it's just
Were you surprised that LeBron only took $4 million?
It's the biggest pitch move I've ever seen in the history of sports. And that's all I'm going to
say. Were you surprised though that he took that $4 million for 2 years? I guess the second year's player option.
The entire thing shocked me.
Have a good day.
The entire thing shocked me. The money, the situation, being that far removed, going to a cold place for a winter sport, having to commute on a helicopter every single day, 45 minutes. There's a ton of shit that
Does he own a home in New York?
It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure he owns a penthouse somewhere in New York, for sure.
Oh, so he can pay Mondami's luxury taxes. Nice. LeBron's a man of the people, bro. You can't. The man of the people. He's going to pay those extra taxes. Absolutely. Let's get on to some big boys, Jeff. It's about that time for some football. Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, am I ready? No. Am I excited? Yes.
There it is. There's the excitement.
We were talking about this in pre-show, and I mentioned it before. I don't know. I haven't done a mock draft. I haven't read an article. I haven't listened to a podcast. Back in the day, too, it was like I consumed so much fantasy information that nobody really had access to. I was on Matthew Berry 18 years ago.
Because
And
nobody
so
had
I was
access
just
to
like,
that.
I was like ahead of the curve, and I would always do really well in fantasy. And now I feel like there's so much information out there that you can get yourself bogged down. Fuck
Exactly.
you, TJ. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't
Has
know.
he even been in contention? Like, I mean, I've seen his teams. It's pretty sketchy. And you would think TJ would have a source like he has right across the screen from him. Like, hey, bro, like even for a while there, I would always bounce stuff off Jeff. Hey, Jeff, do you think this trade's good? Like, do you think this? And he probably gave me some skewed advice for sure.
There's some
But
people who have considered me the greatest fantasy football player of all time. Now, I didn't put that label on myself, but people have said that about me. It's very flattering to hear.
Do these people have names?
They do.
What, can I get one? Just one first name.
The Champions Dinner.
All former champions?
Yeah, I'm a former champion.
Of 2000s?
Of the 2000s? Yo, that's crazy. By the way, Buff
we'll keep holding our breath for that name of whoever called you the greatest fantasy football player of all time.
Frank Burgo. Frank Burgo says he thinks I'm the
best he was just trying to get a tip out of you. You can't. Your bartender doesn't count, Jeff. Your bartender's literally smoozing.
It wasn't at the bar.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Bianca just locked my account. What is she doing?
Yeah, so I need to either get on it or just say fuck it. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year in fantasy football, I feel like. But I also
you're gonna bow
every
out?
Every year I drop more leagues.
You're not getting out of the big league.
I didn't say that. Every year though, I have less and less leagues that I'm a part of.
Well, I agree with that. I know the Buff does, and Buff has a lot to juggle, but like when you get into like 4 and 5 different leagues, I think it gets too much.
You know what it is? And I had this conversation with somebody. There's a guy who is running the JW league that I'm a part of that I've never met in my life, and has not worked there since I've been there. But for some reason, just wants to run the league and whatever. I don't really like the guy. But I was saying this, I go, life's too short now for me to want to play fantasy football with people who I don't like. Like I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. I don't need to be a part of it. Like if I don't like you, I don't want to play fantasy football with you. I'm good.
That's a good point.
So yeah, just trying to be very blessed and highly favored and surround myself with people who I love and care about.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get around some of the bigger moves on the NFL as Jeff ends his sob story. Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. Jeffrey, this was a big one that caught the entire league off guard. Jared Verse going to the Browns with a couple picks. And let's not also, I mean, we have that aspect of it. And now it also looks like Aaron Donald's going to come out of retirement to go alongside Myles Garrett.
Let's also not forget that they traded for one of the best corners in the league from the Kansas City Chiefs, and McDuffie as well, too, this offseason, and made him one of the highest paid DBs. So, yeah, I mean, they're stacked on paper. It's one of the best teams ever assembled. For sure.
So I think I think we're probably in agreement. We didn't talk about this pre-show, but I can kind of put this together. As long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy, this is obviously the number one team in the league on paper.
Correct. And think about this too. They're the number one team in the league. They punted their first round pick. They drafted Ty Simpson with their first round pick. A guy who, by the way, looks terrible in training camp. And I don't know how he's going to actually pan out in the NFL.
Well, he better pan out because, Jeff, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to need a backup quarterback for 2 to 4 games this year. 2 to 4 games. Because let's be honest, getting towards the end of the season, as long as Matthew's been healthy for the first half, are you exorcising a demon over there? Holy shit. As long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy.
365, brother.
I get it. I know why you're at Kitty's all the time. I think he's going to be resting anyway. I think they're going to take him very, very carefully. So, yeah, I know. Angry and irrational Jeff is the best Jeff. But I mean, we're talking about this Rams defense. They're already being compared to the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. I need to see it first, right? But I mean, Jeff, what do you do as an offensive coordinator? I still also believe that good offenses and good offensive coordinators can figure this out.
Yeah, I mean,
get the ball out fast enough.
Screen passes, bubble screens, I don't know, stuff
Play
like
action.
that. Play action's tough depending on who you have. How much time are you going to have on a play action pass, right?
Well, I'm just thinking if you got Aaron Donald on one side, Myles Garrett on the other, and I'm going to run play action to the right. I'm going to double who's on the right. I'm going to let somebody chip Aaron Donald over here. My quarterback should be able to outrun him to get to that right side.
So Aaron Donald plays D tackle. So he's in the middle, though. And Garrett's on the outside.
You know what I'm saying? In premise.
I mean, I get it. In premise, yeah. I mean, Garrett can play everywhere. He's
or if Donald and Garrett are both on one side or whatever, just
can I be honest with you? I don't even know if they like. I love Jared Verse. I think Jared Verse is a fucking animal as well too.
Well, of course. I mean, there's a little bit of in there.
Take what you think I'm being biased toward out of it. Real quick.
I didn't say you're being biased. He is a good player. That's for damn sure. I just think that your homerism elevates him to a different level. He's not on Myles Garrett's or Aaron Donald level. I'd say he's about one tier.
Well, we haven't seen Aaron Donald play in a few years.
Well, I'm just saying, if Aaron Donald comes back, what we expect.
Do you think that there's five defensive ends that are better than Jared Verse in the NFL?
I am too uninformed to make a call on that, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think it's the top 5 DN is the reason I say that. So I think the trade was very interesting.
Well, I thought Cleveland definitely did well with the trade. Cleveland's obviously in a rebuilding year. We wondered that when they rebuilding years or decade, whatever you want to call it. We said that when they signed Myles Garrett to the bigger extension, we're like, this just doesn't make sense. The guy said he wants to win. He's not going to win there. They haven't got the quarterback right in 5 years. And they need another true reset. So when they traded I thought it was absolutely great for the Browns. They got Jared Verse, they got another first round pick, and something else. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I thought the trade was great for the Browns. To me, though, the Rams are starting to put that team together like the Dodgers now. And we've always said before over the last 2 years, for some reason, the salary cap does not apply to the Rams. And here we go again. You have one of the highest paid, and now you got Aaron Donald that's just going to come back on a vet minimum to stack the deck, versus, the Dodgers postponing Ohtani's money. It's the same thing. Then to your point, they traded for the Chiefs guy, made him the highest paid. You got Devontae Adams, you got Puka Nacua that's going to be coming up for a contract. There's a lot of moving parts on that team and a lot of money. I'm impressed the way that they get it spread around.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're definitely going to be the favorites. But I also think they're going to be such betting favorites. They'll be a fade for ours for a lot this year.
We'll be definitely taking the teams against them in the points and probably some unders.
Yeah.
Which also, Jeff, we never did make it to Vegas again.
It's not too late.
It's not. We could take a moonlight flight.
What time we got to be in by?
First kickoff. Which you're out of the country during that, so it'd have to be in the next week or two. But we'll get to that later.
No, I'm back for kickoff.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But more news. AJ Brown out of Philadelphia as expected, going to the New England Patriots. Obviously has a nice repertoire with Mike Vrabel there. Him and Christian Gonzalez getting into it in the camps. Love to see that. I know there's a lot of people that don't. Guys, that's just the animalistic instinct of one person trying to shut down another person. That's all it is. And you want to see that fight. You want to see a number one corner against a number one back. Not so much what you're seeing out of Kansas City, which we'll get into that in a second. But, Jeff, obviously A.J. Brown, something wasn't working there with Hurts, the coordinators, the whole 9 yards. He's reading books. He finally gets out. Not only does he get out, he goes up to Drake May, who's coming off a runner-up MVP performance with relatively no targets. Jeff, where does this put the New England Patriots in the grand scheme of things, adding A.J. Brown to this offense?
Great trade. Diana Rossini had it first. So shout out to her.
Get a little old, Jeff. Get a little old. Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
No, I really like it actually, and I like it. I think Philly's going to be a dumpster fire this year. Personally, I don't understand the thought process that New England is going to take a step back.
It's just numbers. I mean, the schedule last year, they had the easiest or the second easiest. Now they're going to like the top 5 hardest schedule. That in itself will.
Do I think New England will be 14-3 now?
Right.
Do I think that they'll make the playoffs and have a chance to win the division? Absolutely. And so to me, I just don't understand. I mean, they have a guaranteed 4 wins automatically because they play the Jets and the Dolphins. So those are
Jeff. I mean, theoretically not theoretically, historically, it doesn't really matter who is on the Patriots fields when they play Miami in Miami. They lose. Tom Brady had a very, very tough time in Miami. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So to your point, there are some cupcakes. You got the Jets. You got the Dolphins.
They're the best coach team as well too. Listen, I know that the Bills are going to be good. Their offense is still going to be really, really good. I still worry about their defense. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Are we talking about the Bills now, or are we talking about the Patriots?
I'm just saying in general in that division, okay. Right? Patriots, I think, they have a great defense. They're still fine on offense. They're going to be good. You add AJ Brown. I don't see Drake May and his skill set taking a step back whatsoever.
So they also re-extended Hunter Henry, got him for a couple more years on the books. So it looks like he's 30. I didn't realize he was 31. But pretty much going to keep him through the end of his career there in New England. You mentioned the Buffalo Bills. Well, you might as well just talk about that a little bit. Obviously they acquired DJ Moore from the Bears for a second round pick. Shout out to Poles on that one. Okay. Yeah,
I mean, it's a great trade for the Bears. I mean, he was disappearing in that offense.
He was definitely, there was something that wasn't right. Him and Caleb just didn't, whether it was the fingernails, whether it was the passive aggressive, maybe it was the butt squeezing. I don't know. Maybe it was nut tap. We will never know what exactly happened between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams. But the good news is we don't have to worry about it because he's on another team. Yeah. Now, Jeff, do you feel fantasy wise, who's going to be the bigger winner here? AJ Brown in New England or DJ Moore in Buffalo? Who's the bigger fantasy receiver winner?
For sure, AJ Brown. DJ Moore is going to be the same thing that entire offense has been every single week, which is good luck guessing who's going to catch balls and touchdowns in that offense. It gets spread around too much in Buffalo. I can see AJ not only being more motivated, he grew up a Patriots fan, grew up around that area as well too. He's got emotional ties to it. And him and Vrabel, regardless of what you say, AJ and Sirianni did not vibe.
No, there was something definitely going on there.
And so I just think he's in a much better situation, hopefully a much better headspace. I do know.
Well, I think at the end of the day, also AJ Brown's going to call for the ball.
He broke his thumb or something like that as well too. From what I understand, AJ Brown in camp already.
What? Playing video games?
I thought I saw. Whatever, doesn't matter. But I don't even care. I think AJ is due for a much better
dislocated.
Season. Yeah, much better season than what he had last year. Obviously, on my fantasy team. It was fucking shambles, but I do think he's due for a big.
But you also picked that up from the Eagles. But again, you guess you didn't really listen or watch. But the Eagles' offense has been pretty pedestrian, at least from the passing game, for quite some time. I do like news out of the Philadelphia Eagles training camp, though, with the new offensive coordinator. Apparently, Jalen Hurts has lost a little weight as well, trying to get that running game going a little bit more for the dual threat. Because let's be honest, you don't need a quarterback that runs around all the time like we saw Justin Fields that can't throw. But if you do have the threat of a quarterback moving, it does obviously help your offense. I agree with you as well. I think AJ Brown will have the better. I do love DJ Moore over there on the Buffalo Bills, though. I really do love him on the Bills over there. I just I don't know. Also, while we're talking about that real quick, did you see the videos of the Buffalo Bills from their new stadium? And I guess they had a practice squad event or something there.
No.
Oh yeah. So numerous seats that like have glass from the stairwell that you have to look through with the poles. There's numerous seats that are blocked. Like you can only see half the field. It's quite the conundrum here, Jeffrey.
Is there a way to pull this video up and I'll give you my
I'm looking for it right now.
Real-time reaction here live on Uninformed Fan. You only get content like this right here at the Uninformed Fan.
That's right.
Shout out to Tyson Memorabilia for the sponsorship.
Thomas.
Shout out to Thomas Memorabilia for the sponsorship and cutting our checks. For me and the 3 times, sincerely appreciate that.
The price is right. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this here. Yeah, so here's some of them. So right there, you can see they have to look through the glass, and also people coming up. There's a seat right here. Another one. You got the seat. That's a better one right here. You can see they block half the end zone with those seats there.
That's very unfortunate. Who designed
this one
that?
here as well? Glass seats. Where's the one from the right side? Yeah, right here. There's another one. You can't even see past the 10-yard line on this one. I mean, you got this one here that you're looking through that. I mean, we're talking about a brand new stadium, man. Brand new stadium.
I thought it was going to be, I thought there was a dome or it was going to be like retractable or something like that.
No, so they put these things in here that are supposed to cover everyone apparently, but they only pulled them out to cover the top seats. So that's another thing that they're complaining about is like, you know, the expensive seats are the ones that are still sitting in the rain and the snow. But at that point, that's what it's about. If you're either going to keep the elements or lose the elements, that little like half dome, like little like just protrude is just supposed to keep the majority of it out. So it just falls on the field. But regardless, at the end of the day, the Bills Mafia fans are not happy, Jeffrey, at all. And I'm sure the price point that are on those seats, I would not be happy as well.
Can imagine. Hopefully it works out for him. I think Josh Allen's still gonna have a big year this year. I think he'll probably be MVP again. But I don't know as a team if they're gonna be able to stop a nosebleed. So
well, like I said, I mean they got a pretty tough schedule as well. The offense that I did look up against gosh, why can't I think of the running back's name now? Why
James Cook
going up against a lot of very tough rushing defenses, especially towards the latter end of the year.
Hypothetically.
Just something to look out for your fantasy.
This is like preseason rankings in college football.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't have any data points. We surmise that teams will be what they are potentially, but in practicality, it doesn't really happen like that always.
No. Was there something else on that point, or just?
Nope.
Okay.
That was it.
Just throwing stuff out. Jalen Waddle also traded to the Denver Broncos, Jeff. I actually love this trade. The Broncos get another one. Obviously, it's going to cut into Cortland Sutton a bit. But, I mean, the Broncos, one of the best defenses, if not the best defense, highest pressure rate, most sacks last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have Bo Nix throwing the football, though, Jeff. And does that concern you, especially when the guy broke his ankle celebrating a playoff win?
Yeah, it very much. Most of Bo Nix's really good plays last year were him like moving around in the pocket, making something happen at the very end of a play off of 1 foot, weird throw. Like he was a very unscripted quarterback last year. I felt like not a guy who's just going to sit in the pocket and just let it rip. So coming off this ankle injury, I need to see what his mobility is like. I need to see how he looks, if he's timid, if he's, I need to see it first.
Tough injury to come back from.
I don't believe in Denver this year. I've never been a Sean Payton guy.
That's just your hatred.
I will continue to not be a Sean Payton guy.
Yeah, that's just your hatred. That's not the truly unbiased analytical approach, Jeffrey.
He's an asshole.
Sean Payton being in my division for 20 years and putting their foot on my throat for 20 years. That approach.
He's an asshole.
It'll pass.
Okay.
It'll pass.
No.
All right, Jeff. Well, let's get into it. The training camps are underway. A lot of training camps coming out. A lot of injuries already coming out. It always blows my mind when we have somebody like Ricky Pearsall, who we come into the camp and then we decide, nah, it's not good enough. Let's go ahead and have season-ending surgery. Or if somebody comes into camp and they're like, that just doesn't. Let's do a little meniscus scrape here to kind of like what, Jeff. Before we get into this whole thing, why can injuries not be rehabbed and addressed during the offseason? Is there a rule against that or something?
No, there's not a rule.
I just don't. I don't understand these people that had injuries at the end of last year. There are multiple of them that are still not now. They're coming back and having another surgery, or they're doing this. Or
Ricky Pearsall, like when you talk about a hype train, man, like the kid made a one-handed catch in college. It was really cool.
One of the best catches in the history of college football.
It's not.
Maybe it actually it is. Look it up.
Not.
It is.
It's not.
This is your hatred again, Jeffrey. Clouding your vision.
I see that catch in pregame every single day.
Well, pregame isn't live football, is it? No, it's not.
God. Okay. Other than that, he really hasn't done much.
Well, he hasn't been healthy in the league. I mean, he had some good blips, some good.
What else did he do in
college?
College?
Good play.
I mean, he wasn't even like a great college player.
You're the hatred, Jeff. The hatred. It's just so blinding for you. So blinding for you. Jeff, give me some news out of Bucs training camp. How are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking going into the 2026 season?
I mean, vibes are low according to everybody, but I don't know what people expected the Bucs to do. And I don't know why this is a shock to anybody. The Bucs don't pay anybody. They never do. You know, like we don't extend people and re-sign people to big deals. I also think that this is an issue. I think Tampa's in a really interesting spot, and they're in a spot where they could be in a transition year. If they don't come out and perform this year, if they don't make the playoffs this year, Todd Bowles, that whole regime is going to be gone. So you're on a 1 year, let's see what happens thing. Now, if you're the front office and you're the owners, and you know that next year you're going to need to go pitch people on coming to coach the Bucs and assets and cap space and different things that you have, do you really want to go into that tied up with the guys like Vita Vea, who's 31 years old, who's asking for a ton of money? Do you really want to go in with the quarterback already set? If this quarterback only has been successful pretty much 1 year out of the 4 that he's played, barring what happens this year.
So the Baker hate. Woo!
I don't hate Baker. I love Baker, but if we're going to
why not pay Baker and tell him that he's your quarterback?
Because he's been here for 3 years, and besides the year that he had in 2024, it's been pretty average, honestly. Now, you could say before he got hurt last year, I'm all for that. I agree with that. I thought he's fantastic. You could also say the fact that he's lost an offensive coordinator every single year that he's been here. I agree with that. I'll co-sign to that as well, too. However, the proof is in the pudding. And if you want to get paid $55 to $60 million for 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is, well, I don't think you're a $55 or $60 million quarterback for 5 years. Sorry. I'm sorry.
What would those numbers look like, Jeffrey?
I mean, I thought the contract that he's on now, it is under what he should be getting, but I don't think it's that egregious. I think he's in the $50 to $55 million range. That's fine. I don't want to give you 5 years and a bunch of guaranteed money. I don't.
What is 4? I think, right? 4.
I know that he said that what he was asking for, he went to the Bucs, and the Bucs,
they wanted a 2-year contract. He wanted 3 to 4.
What he asked for, the Bucs didn't hit on all 3 things. They didn't hit on years, they didn't hit on annual salary, and they didn't hit on guaranteed money. Mm-hmm. So that's why he said he was offended.
To your point, Jeffrey.
But I'll say this right now: Vita Vea is going to play out his contract. He is not going to sit out. He's not going to be traded. He's not going to miss any game checks. I wouldn't be surprised to see Vita Vea play a preseason game as well, too. So we can just shut all this shit down right now, all right? Barring him taking a team-friendly deal, Vita Vea will play out his contract this year and play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield will probably play out his contract this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and become a free agent next year. It's just the way it is.
Well, of course, Baker is going to. But to your point, the Bucs have already come out and said if he has a good year, they're just going to franchise tag him, which they can. They can still franchise tag him for 2 years after that. They
can. Here's the issue, and this is what Baker talked about. He has taken deferred money. And, you know, when we get into the Dodgers, we'll talk about the things of deferred money and void years and stuff like that. But his deferred money, they owe him $30 million next year on the cap. So if they franchise tag him, now all of a sudden that number shoots up to, you're going to have $85 million tied up in Baker Mayfield for 1 year. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Now,
to your point, okay.
Baker also knows this. And Baker knows that there is leverage there to be had. So I think he's also trying to use that to his advantage, saying, you're going to pay me $30 million next year no matter what. Do you want to give me the what I want, which is, $60 million over 4 years? That's that's up to the Bucs. But I thought it's more in the $50 million range, and
well,
he's right too. The cap's going to go up every single year. It's going to go up every single year, and whatever deal you sign now is going to look team friendly in 4 years.
Which is why you see a lot of people just signing to record numbers now, because they know in the 3 years when that's up, that's going to be a mediocre amount. To your point about his production, outside of in 2023 season, 64% completion, 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 94.6 rating. Okay.
Yep.
2025, 63.2%, 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 91 rating. And then you do have the 2024 season, 71.4 completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and 106.8. I would have to go back to that was the Dave Canales offense, was it not?
2024 was
that Liam Cohen?
Liam Cohen.
No.
Right?
Liam Cohen was 2023. No. He was the first to get hired, right?
Liam Cohen was a first-year head coach last year.
Okay. So the 2023 was Dave Canales, and then the 2024 was Liam Cohen. So, yes. And then who did we have last year? Who did you have? It was Liam Cohen last year. Okay.
It was not Liam Cohen last year.
Who was last year? Sorry. And is he still there?
No, we have Zach Robinson now, who was the OC for the Falcons, who is best friends with Liam Cohen, who they use all the same verbiage and wording, and the thought is that you can bring in a guy who runs the same offense Liam Cohen does and the same ideas, and plug him in and hopefully recreate the success that you had with Liam Cohen back in that year.
Well, I would just go on this. The 3 years that he has been in Tampa Bay have been the best years of his entire career.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that unless we're getting 2024 production, I'm not paying you $55 or $60 million. If 2024 is the production that you get, cool, perfect. But if not, then I don't want to be tied to you. And
a lot of that is also on the coaching and the personnel around him, correct?
It's also predicated on what's going to happen this year as well. Because if it doesn't happen this year, I could see the Bucs just saying, "Fuck it, go somewhere else." We're cool. We're going to bring in a new regime. We're going to figure everything out. Vita Vea can walk. We're not going to pay anybody, and then we'll go from there. So,
well, I think the Bucs are due for a hard reset. I mean, think about it. You've been plugging holes since Brady. Well, and that was one thing. And that was something that somebody else brought up. They're like, okay,
the same regime with Brady. It's the same regime. All you do is take Arians out. Yeah,
you just plug some holes.
Yeah.
But what they were also saying is, after the Tom Brady thing, they didn't have a plan after Tom Brady, and then they picked up Baker and they made it work. So a lot of people are like, well, who are you going to take? I mean, I think that's a great point, though. When it comes out there and looks, I mean, who else are you going to pick up? Deshaun Watson after he's gone after the Browns this year on a short-term deal?
No, but I do think you're in one of the
eventually you need a franchise quarterback, do you not?
We've never had a franchise quarterback, Tyson.
Jameis Winston was your franchise quarterback.
He was supposed to be our franchise quarterback. He never got signed to a second contract.
Yeah.
So the Bucs have never had a quarterback that has been signed to multiple contracts.
Which is why you had that one blip of a Super Bowl. Tom Brady was there. Obviously, he brought it. You had a lot of good things around it. But, I mean, it's just like the Bears don't have anything. There's just there's no franchise quarterbacks. And I think that's where a lot of people are, at least the talking heads are out there being like, well, you say Baker Mayfield's a franchise quarterback. Well, then just give him the terms of a franchise quarterback. And to your point, be done with it. Because at the end of the day, the price that you pay today is not going to be the price tomorrow. So let's just say that he wanted $50 million a year for 4 years, okay, $200 million. So let's just say he goes out and has a 2024 season. And let's say the Bucs are in the playoffs and make a deep run. What does that contract look like now? Are Bucs fans going to be happy to let him walk after that as well?
Let's do a real quick because I'm curious about your thought on this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do an either or for you. Right. Where do you think Baker Mayfield is in terms of quarterbacks in the NFL?
Top half.
So top 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think so. I would have to look at all of the. Well, I'll just do this. Is he better than the Bills quarterback? No. Dolphins,
No.
yes. Patriots,
No.
I can't get. I can't.
Would you rather have Drake May or would you rather have Baker Mayfield? This is what I'm saying. Would you rather? Would you rather have
I'd
Drake
rather
May?
have Baker Mayfield.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Why?
Well, I've just got more data on Baker Mayfield. That's all. I mean, we've all seen. We look at Jaden Daniels that came out and had an absolutely astonishing rookie season, then fell off a cliff. I just need to see more. That's what Drake May could be the better quarterback down the road.
Drake May's won more playoff games than Baker Mayfield has.
Well, okay. What if Baker Mayfield was on the Pittsburgh or the Patriots last year? What would have happened?
I don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. All right. So Jets, yes, better than quarterback than him. So out of the East, I have one quarterback better than him. The North, Bengals, Joe Burrow's better than him. That's 2. Browns, no. Pittsburgh, no. Lamar, yes. So that's 3 better than him. Titans, no. Colts, no. I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence above him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of shaky. CJ Stroud. Ugh.
This is where it gets interesting, right?
I'm going to say no because again, great rookie season, second season, and then what I saw in the playoffs last year, lucky the dude still has a job.
You skipped over Daniel Jones.
No, I skipped over the Colts. I said no. I don't.
You have Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones?
Uh-huh. I would take Baker over Bo Nix. I would not take Baker over Patrick Mahomes. I would not take Baker over the Raiders, whatever they have.
They have the number 1 pick in Francisco Mendoza and Kirk Cousins.
Justin Herbert's kind of borderline. I feel like they're both kind of at the same level at this right.
Justin Herbert's way ahead of Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
Well, if you're looking at stats, my man, look at those stats.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just saying if you want to see stats, I'll bring it up here. Let me bring this up here. We're at 5 right now. I mean, I'm one of the bigger Justin Herbert guys, just simply for the fact that I stocked up on his cards.
By the way, congrats to Justin Herbert, recently engaged to Madison Beer.
He doesn't have a season, Jeff, where his completion percent is over 69 or higher.
Justin Herbert will have the best year of his career this year.
No, that's another fantasy talk. Let's keep that under the rug. Buff might be listening. Anyway, I'm going to keep it 5. I feel like him and Baker right now is a toss-up, to be perfectly honest with you. So, whatever. You go 5, 5.5, whatever you want to say there. Dak Prescott.
Give me Dak.
I think they're both right there, but I would say give me Dak right now. Jackson Dart, no. Jalen Hurts, no.
Really?
Jaden Daniels, no.
Really?
No. Caleb Williams. I'm taking Caleb Williams over Baker there. I'm taking Jared Goff over Baker.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's 7. I'm taking Jordan Love over Baker. That's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody from the Vikings, so we're still at 8. Nobody from the Panthers. Nobody from the Falcons
this year, though.
No one from the Saints. I'm taking Matt Stafford over him. I'm taking Brock Purdy over him. Him and Sam Darnold are right there, dude. Anyway, so again, I'm at 10 with 2 to 3 possibles right there. So yeah, top 15. So we're looking at anywhere from like 12 to 15th best quarterback in the league. So let's look. Where is the 12 to 15 quarterback salaries? NFL QB salaries for 2026 season. So where do we stand?
I think Dak's number 1, right?
Mahomes, 64.
Mm.
So let's go here, right here. Come on. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. This is just base salaries, I guess. Doesn't include everything else, but because as Matt Stafford, cap hit is $48 million. So, but again, those are deferred. So let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're in the Jalen Hurts at $32 million a year, but 51.5 is the actual cash spent number. Baker Mayfield right now on the Bucs at $40 million is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7th. Mm-hmm. Highest paid quarterback right now. But I don't think that this is right. This is on over the cap. Let's just do quarterback contract average ratings. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, and this is numbered, so much better. so much better. Right now, Baker Mayfield is 16th at $33.5 million. So if we put him in that 12 to 15 range, 12 is 51 million, and Sam Darnold at 15 is 33.5. So if my point is this, why not just give him 50 million for 4 years?
He wants more than 50 million.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Jeff, also the number 3 highest paid quarterback is 55. Like, so, I mean, you can't figure that out.
That's what he wants, because he says that in 3 years from now, when he's locked into this contract, that it's going to look like a steal because of the way the cap goes up and the new deals that are going to be signed.
Well, I will say, you know, if I was him, I would probably want more money than Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love. But I don't see how you. I'm just saying, from my mentality as Baker, I think Baker feels he's better than him. Probably. Trevor Lawrence has not done anything in playoff wise or anything. Jordan Love has not done anything playoff wise. I mean, Baker Mayfield has done a few things, but at the end of the day, you're looking at Patrick Mahomes at 63, Dak at 60, and then everyone else is 55 or below. So if you're telling me that Baker Mayfield wants to be paid the same amount as Josh Allen, then I'm going to tell Baker you're out of your fucking mind. But on the same token, if you want to win, and if you truly have a winning mentality, you need to not be taking $55 million a year, because when you get to this level, a la Patrick Mahomes, who are the names that surrounds Patrick Mahomes? They just now started getting some good stuff. They haven't had a running back for 5 years. They haven't had a true number one. Kelsey's on the way out. Like, you have not been able to surround Patrick Mahomes with big weapons because of what he makes. Now, the fact that Joe Burrow is making $55 million and Jamar Chase is like the number 3 paid receiver, and then T. Higgins is like the top 10 or something of that nature, explains the rest of the team and why they can't put together a defense or anything else.
Bengals are going to be good this year.
Bengals are going to be great. Anyway, so back to it. I think we'd all started, Jeffrey. How are we feeling about the Bucs? I'm just going to say that the Bucs are an absolute shambles, and whatever happens is just going to be a blessing.
Bucs
because
12-5 this year, win the division.
Oh
and
my
make a run in the
goodness!
playoffs.
Get out, dude! I think the Saints are going to win the division.
Okay.
I think the Saints are sneaky, man. They got Jordan Tyson, that sneaky little receiver. Tyler Show was like the top 10 quarterback, maybe 8th over the last half when he started playing. I think they're going to be good. But I will say, shout out to my boy Kyle Trask getting signed for the Carolina Panthers. Thank you, Dave Canales, for throwing my boy an olive branch. My boy stays in the league. I was actually very, very excited when he tried out. I thought he was going to get in. I thought I was going to get to see some preseason Kyle Trask, because those of you who don't know, preseason is my season. That's when Justin Fields and all my boys play. Love it, love it, love it. Shout out to Kyle Trask. Moving on, Chicago Bears, Jeffrey, got some bad news out of there. Luther Burden hurt with the groin, out for the entire preseason. Not that it's that big of a deal, but he was showing some serious highlights. A lot of pressure, a lot of spotlight, a little bit different from the Bears to the Bucs here. A lot of pressure on the Bears, a lot of expectations on the Bears this year. A lot of demise predicted for the Bears this year. Can Caleb Williams keep it up in year 2 of Ben Johnson, or do they have the natural regression? I think that this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with outside of their defense once again. The defense just cannot get it together. Kobe Bryant out for probably, 10 weeks, maybe getting back like week 6, week 7. That absolutely decimated. TJ Edmonds, I do believe, did come back off the PUP from not being able to practice. I just have some serious doubts still with this defense. If the defense can show any signs of life, or any pressure and can hold, if you can hold any team, I would say, to 21 points, I think that the Bears have a shot of winning every single game this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. Romo Dunze, it's kind of weird though. You know, we think that DJ Moore was going to be sliding out. Romo Dunze was supposed to be taking over, but it's all been about Luther Burden III. To me, and this Chicago offense is going to run through Colston Loveland. I think Colston Loveland's going to absolutely monster year. I think Cole Kmet's going to have a little sprinkled in. You're going to see a lot of double tight end sets. And when you think about it and you're setting that up, you got Cole Kmet one side, you got Colston Loveland the other. You got Romo Dunze, Luther Burden III out there. I think it's going to be an absolute mastermind offense. I think Ben Johnson's going to have it humming. I look for the Bears to stay hot. Although I will say that division just keeps getting tougher and tougher each year. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough season. I think the Bears are going to play their ass off, hopefully. I think it's going to be a tough season. I think they have the third hardest schedule this season. I don't know what their over-under total is, but, my little nuts are tingling that probably the under. But I think they still make the playoffs. But at the end of the day, as long as we beat Green Bay both times, that's all that matters.
Sky's the limit for the Bears this year. They have my opinion, probably the best coach in the division. They definitely have the best quarterback in the division. They have incredible weapons. As long as the defense can just get held together, they have the pieces on defense. They need to have them all on the field together at the same time and playing well. I think the Bears win that division this year.
Who do you like on the defense, Jeff?
I like Edmonds. Always been a fan of Edmonds. I think
Jalen Johnson's. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy. Jalen Johnson's still hurt. No idea when he's coming back. So you're down there. So your starting secondary was Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, which we've all seen what Tyreek Stevenson can or cannot do. Kyler Gordon, Kobe Bryant, and Dylan Theon, which is going to be the kid that we just drafted. Jalen Johnson's hurt. We don't even know when he's coming back. Kobe Bryant's hurt. He's not going to be back for at least 6 to 7 weeks. And Kyler Gordon is a literally walking piece of plexiglass.
You have a good line. And I do like your linebackers as well too.
That defensive line couldn't get to anybody last year. Montez Sweat, Austin Burker, Grady Gervon, Dexter Senior. And I will say Dexter is in a contract year, so we all know what happens when that, they tend to play a little bit more during contract years. But yeah, TJ Edwards, Devin Bush, and DeMarco Jackson. I don't know, dude. We saw some very, very crazy stuff from Dennis Allen last year. Let's be honest as well. The Bears are not going to replicate that turnover margin. And that was literally feast or famine last year. And I think, I don't know how many games that they actually won last year, maybe 12. I would say maybe 7 of them are one possession games. We talked about that before with the Minnesota Vikings last year. Going into last season that they won like 6 or 7 games by one score, that just can't continue. And they lost almost all of them this year. So I don't know, Jeff. All I know is I am actually pumped. It's usually the time that I'm a little bit, excited about football. Let's see if we can get past week 3, week 4 this year. That would be a nice little touch to the caveat to the football season. But we're going to start breaking down divisions, all of that fun stuff. Start looking at, fantasy options, things of that nature next week. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Let's move on real quickly to the MLB. Jeff Tarek, Scooball on the trade deadline to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the complete evil empire now. They've taken over the Yankees. Yes. I'll just say it. They have absolutely taken. It used to be for me the evil empire of the East, the evil empire of the West. Now is just the Dodgers, and that's it.
It's so funny to hear Yankee fans complain too.
They are absolutely bloodsuckers. Tarek Scooball comes out and says anybody could have done this. So why are you blaming the Dodgers? Because anybody could have traded for me. Oh, really? Somebody could have given it 3 prospects and probably going to sign you to the richest contract. Okay, everybody can do it though. My biggest question, Jeff, let's talk about this first. Let's talk about why the Dodgers are an absolute vampire sucking the life out of baseball before we get into the ramifications of what's going to happen here.
Well, I just think it's, obviously they've found a way to circumvent and caveat the deferred money part of everything.
And to your point, they have roughly $1.1 billion in deferred contract liabilities.
Mm-hmm. So
$1.1 billion.
It is what it is. I will say, obviously they will have the world rooting against them in every series they play. And baseball is an interesting game. If you can get a couple guys who can, shut them down and play really close games with, there's a chance that they can be beaten a series. However,
they've lost 6 or 7 in a row.
When your rotation is going to consist of Blake Snell. Well,
they haven't brought Blake Snell back yet. They haven't brought Ohtani back.
I'm saying in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
What it'll be Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow, Scooball, and then
it's usually it's a 4-man rotation.
Who's the other one? No, but they have another one. Yamamoto?
Yeah, Yamamoto. That's their ace.
And Yamamoto. So
yeah.
It's crazy to think, that's an actual 5-man rotation if they want to have it. So
And then, of course, then you have the all-star lineup on the bats, which the bats can go cold. I will say that. But the pitching, if the pitching can keep you in it and you only need possibly 2 to 3 runs to score, that's one swing of the bat, and they definitely have all of the firepower for that.
And they're not going to get mismanaged. They also just picked up a reliever as well, too, who was an all-star from the Royals last year, who they picked up to strengthen up their bullpen. So
yeah, because they needed that. But yeah, I mean,
listen, we're headed for a work stoppage. It sucks. It's what baseball is right now. There's going to be a strike. It is what it is.
It's going to be a lockout, not a strike.
Lockout, strike, whatever you want to call it.
Well, lockout is from the owner's perspective, and the strike is from the player's perspective. Now, I will also say I completely agree with the salary cap, but it needs to be, as we talked about, not like the NBA. There needs to be a hard salary cap, but there also needs to be a hard salary floor. You cannot have cheap-ass owners that are just, like the Rays. I'm sorry. The Rays remind me of Billy Beane, I guess, in the athletics, but they've continued to put together teams of hungry young prospects and continue to win and don't spend a dime.
Yeah, and it looks like the Orlando thing might be happening. So
Tampa to here?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as it's not the Orlando Dreamers. That stadium is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That stadium looks pretty badass.
The renderings are pretty cool, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They're really struggling in Tampa right now with the stadium thing, and they can't play in Tropicana anymore. And it's just, I don't know. It looks like it's not going to work out. So I think the most logical thing is to put them in Orlando, the most visited city in the entire world. So
I agree. I mean, I would love to see, when the Jags come here next year, not this year, but next year.
Yeah,
I think you're going to see. I think the city of Orlando could hold it better than Tampa. And that goes for the Bucs as well. I really do.
Can we say something, though, too? We need to fix downtown here.
Well,
I don't know.
It's atrocious.
It's sad, man. And it's crazy because, places like Gringos Locos, like Staples that have been down there forever.
They're all closing.
They're all closed. There's nothing going on down there anymore.
Well, it has to do with permits, city regulations, time frames, and then, of course, the things that happen down there. And the clientele that is choosing to partake and the things that happen. And this is not one specific person, race, or anything. I'm just saying everybody that goes down there, there's shit that goes down. It's not safe anymore. I mean, have you watched? There's somebody out there. I think it's like Things in Downtown Orlando where they go down, they film every weekend.
He's got his mics on, walking around.
Yeah, bro, and that used to be my jam. I lived there. It's sad to see, man. It is sad to see, but they're supposed to be doing some revitalization of whatever that Church Street, whatever that old Western place is supposed to be.
The problem is that what draws you down there that you can't have around you here, I think that's the problem.
That's the whole thing. The only thing that draws me downtown is if I go for a basketball game, if I do something at Tinker Field or the stadium, or I go to Mills, and there are some nice restaurants in the Mills district area.
Mills is dope, but I can go to City Walk, I can go to Disney Springs, I can go to Well,
I think it gives you a little bit different of a feel versus the tourist versus the local feel. I will say that there is a difference between going out in City Walk versus going downtown. I was a staple at Tier nightclub and all of that stuff while I was down there. It was fun, but it was also fun if you're trying to meet people or do something else. But
Tier, Bliss, Dragon Room, 23, and these are all things that are from back in the day.
Chillers, wasn't it? Chillers, it was 3 for 1, 4 for 1.
Yeah.
Buy 1 shot, get 4 free. Okay, sign me up.
For me, I just feel like if we're gonna host events and stuff like this, we really want to be people who are gonna bid on it. Something's got to change down there. They got to figure it out because that's part of the experience when you go to these events is being a part of that city and being in downtown and having good times and bouncing around to bars and restaurants and stuff like that. And we don't have that right now.
My thing is the area from the field to the downtown needs to be redeveloped, and that needs to bridge the gap because you can walk from the stadium to downtown. It's not that far.
It's a mile, maybe not even.
Maybe a couple. I mean, it's like a 20-minute walk. All right. But if there was like to your point, if there was hotels, bars, restaurants between that stadium and there, then you'd have more people staying here and doing those things. You got the soccer field right around the corner. They do draw some people now and then. You got the football stadium, which we have a lot of bowl games and stuff that we're trying to get more and more, trying to get national championship, possibly even Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All of those things, but you can't have it just sitting in the middle of the hood. And, no offense to anybody, but that's where the cheapest land was. And that's where they went. And there's a reason for that. And that's why you see a lot of these stadiums going to these areas that are neglected, underdeveloped, but it's been there for far too long. It's been there for far too long to not have that area develop. And to your point, absolutely. But I guess the flip of the coin is you got to do something to get the tourists off I-Drive and get them to come back down there. And part of that would be having a safe atmosphere.
Right.
I mean, because you start pulling people down there, because if I come in here for a football game and I go over to here, where am I staying at? I mean, what are my options in downtown? I have like 3 hotels, right?
So I do know that there's a development project that's in place. And part of that development project is a couple more hotels are going up. One is there's going to be a new JW Marriott going there as well. That's going to be built strictly for downtown.
Is that over by the Orlando, the Sentinel, the old Sentinel building?
I'm not sure.
They're supposed to be redeveloping that whole area. But again, that's pretty far out when you talk about downtown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would agree. There's a lot of things that need to be. And if at the end of the day, if you can't do it, then just like that baseball stadium is going over on I-Drive.
Yeah, it's going down next to SeaWorld.
Yeah. So, I mean, hit that one directly on the head. You know what? Or just move, they're putting like $800 million into that stadium to get it ready for the Jags. I mean, if you're going to put $800 million into it, why not just put that as a down payment and build a brand new stadium?
I don't know.
Put it over there on I-Drive. Let the tourist tax pay for that shit.
Pretty easy.
Anyway, yes. So you did mention the MLB is going to be locked out for 2026. And honestly, I think the last lockout was in the 90s maybe. And that one was very controversial, right? It almost killed baseball. It took a long time. It took the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire home run derby race to basically bring baseball back from that lockout. And I think this one's a little bit different. I think that the fans are actually ready for this. They're tired of seeing this. Imagine just being, a Kansas City Royal. Like that your market share is just so tiny.
Yeah.
But then you got towns like Green Bay with the NFL that are competing every year because of the way that it's set up and the parity is set up. I think it's going to be a great thing for it as long as there's a floor. And I don't think that the players would even go back as long as there's a floor. I do feel bad for the kids on rookie contracts, the kids in the AAA, AA, minor A, all of that, kids that are about to come up, because that's where nobody else sees, right? When it comes to lockouts and things of this nature, the people that aren't making the 20 to 30, and there's a lot of them, the coaches, the staffers, all of that, their livelihoods are pretty much going to be gone during this whole time. And they're going to have to figure out another way to feed their family.
Not only them, but the towns that they play in. If you think
the
about
workers at the stadiums,
the people who work at the stadiums, or even like the towns that literally like revolve and survive based off of minor league baseball, because that's the draw that they have, and that's what the town does. And so it's gonna be very unfortunate.
It is,
but it's something that's much needed, unfortunately.
Well, just to recap, MLB, the race is heating up. I think that's why you saw a lot of teams going for the gusto on this trade deadline, because who knows what the next one's going to look like. I'd be very curious to see how, with the new cap, how like a team like a Dodgers that has $1.1 billion in deferred money now has to get under the cap. How is that going to work? I hope they have to unload the whole team. But the Cubbies made a few moves. We got Clay Holmes from the Mets. We brought in Kevin Gausman, who has been playing like absolute garbage from the Toronto Blue Jays, comes in and gives 7 strong innings. Cubs making a little bit of a move. Didn't see much out of the Atlanta Braves, though, Jeffrey. I mean, I know you guys are in first place and everything, but didn't see any moves out of you guys. Feeling pretty good with the roster, eh?
No.
Jeff doesn't know. Jeff hasn't been watching his team.
What do you mean? They had won 8 in a row until they just went into this Yankee series and they lost 2 or 3. They somehow squeaked out a win yesterday, in the top of the 10th inning, to win 2-1 against the Yankees in a game that was abhorrent. I think both teams combined for like 7 hits total or something like that.
It did.
I thought that. I'm sorry.
No, I said you're right. I watched Michael Harris and Matt Olson just basically get 0 hits.
Yeah,
hitting a home run or something.
So yeah, I mean, I am paying attention. Yes,
All
I
right,
am paying attention to baseball.
Comment revoked.
We made a couple small moves that I didn't think were needle movers whatsoever, but we've been playing really well. So who knows? Maybe health coming back into it. And being a part of it is also an addition to where you don't need to make moves. But it's
Acuna
just more,
was out for most of the year, wasn't he?
More shit for the Braves, yeah. More the same thing that they always do. They're owned by a finance company that everything is just dollars and profit and whatever. So it is what it is.
Absolutely horrible. Hate to see that. Absolutely hate to see
it's tough. It's tough to be owned by private equity.
Yeah.
And
it's just like I was talking to somebody else at the bar the other day. They were talking about how they had some like tractor company that was in the family, but like they kept it private, right? And you got to, man, you got to keep it private, because the moment you IPO a company and people get their grubby investor hands involved, it's no longer about the love of anything. It's just about dollars and cents, and that is the greatest thing about our United States economy, and the worst thing about the United States economy, in my opinion. Because as soon as you go public, it's all about dollars and cents. That's when everything goes out the window. It's just, how can I squeeze more money to the bottom line?
Yeah, you never see an owner who goes for it all and continuously like spends money and pays luxury tax or whatever that is like private equity, like it's like a guy who just wants to go win.
George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, like Phil Knight in Oregon right now, just like all in. I don't care.
There's an open
I won a national championship before I die. I have $1 billion. I don't care. Go win a national championship. What do I have to pay? That's kind of where we're at right now. So yeah, I mean, it takes passion and love from people to be able to throw up this kind of money and to be able to make it happen. And then, obviously the Dodgers have a good group that's together, that's been propelling them for a while now.
Absolutely. Well, to wrap us up, a little of the news out of the NHL. Connor Bedard does sign an extension with the Blackhawks, and then goes out on his megaphone and says that he would like to have Patrick Kane there. I've said this from the beginning. Cousin Clay immediately pushed back because they didn't want battling. I thought that would be the best thing. Chicago icon Patrick Kane comes home. 2 years. It was absolutely atrocious that we had to watch him play in a Detroit Red Wings uniform. Shame on the Chicago Blackhawks for even letting that happen. Happy to have him back. Now we just need to bring back Jonathan Toews on a little 1-year deal, let him retire as a Blackhawks and call it a day. But that's going to do it for the majority of us. What we had was really nice to be back today. Kind of a little rusty to start off with.
One more thing I wanted to touch on before we step away, which I know we will.
Oh, did we glance over that?
Did you happen to see the greatest league in the world right now, content-wise, is the WNBA? And I have been beating this drum for so long now about this league, and just the pettiness, the craziness of like having people who compete against each other and also have sex with each other is just something that is just unparalleled. Truly. Now we add in all the stuff with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and whether men should play in women's sports. And it's really, really become a very interesting narrative that is being driven home and has been taken over mainstream media. These girls have never had this many eyeballs in their life. And I'd also like to point out that the Indiana Fever are playing amazing basketball. In terms of WNBA and points scored, this is one of the highest scoring seasons in the history of the WNBA. The Fever are going to set the all-time record for most points scored by WNBA teams. I'm watching WNBA games get over 100 points in regulation. I haven't seen that in my life.
What a time to be alive. I did see Becky Hammon went into New York and rested like 3 of the star players and a lot of people in New York were upset about, because that's why they bought tickets. And then they were quick to point out that during their rigorous 44-game schedule that, sometimes they need a break.
Chad.
What's up? He what if he could? Yes. So, yeah, after hearing Becky talk about the rigorous 44 game schedule and how, back to backs and scheduling and, just really, really hard on the WNBA players. The good news is Eric Cantor and somebody else is coming in for relief, Jeff. They're coming in to give those players a little bit of relief because apparently in the WNBA contract, it only states that you need to feel as a female or say you're a female. One of those things.
So
how's that ambiguous language treat you, Jeffrey?
They or whoever they
be
want.
Careful. Be careful.
Here's the thing. There's been this whole topic back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And obviously Royce White and Ennis Freedom are just trolling the fact that they can do this and they have decided to do this. So they have both declared themselves eligible for the WNBA draft. Now, what does that take? That is going to take somebody drafting them, which the WNBA will never do. If there's a more likely scenario,
can't they just get signed? Why can't they just be a free agent? Why do they have?
Believe that you have to declare for the NBA, WNBA draft.
So that if nobody drafts you, then you can sign with somebody.
Correct.
Okay.
The more than likely scenario that I can see playing out, there is a person over in France right now who is playing very well.
Does this person have a name?
Was not born in the body that they identify as.
Shocker. And it's doing well. Shocker.
Is averaging like 20 and 20 over in France, and has said that they would be more than willing and open to coming and playing for a WNBA team. It's unfortunate because I just feel like we've gotten to a point now where we're so worried about people's feelings and being politically correct that we have literally now stripped away the rights that we stood up for the group that we were trying to support. And I think that's a very sad thing.
Is this who you're talking about? Julie Thiat?
That is an AI generated photo. Just so you know, but that is a real player. That
is not. I mean, are you kidding me? Bro, what? Get out of here, man. Jeff, I know that you got to kind of walk a line here. I know. That's fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded. My God. Who would have thought in 2022 when we made the movie Joanna Man that 24 years later shit would be a reality? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yo, that was a clean ass Euro, though. That was a clean ass Euro step right there.
Everybody's getting the fuck out of her way. She's like 6'6", 250, built like a brick shithouse. You said that was AI, but it wasn't far off.
No, it's not far off, but that photo was AI generated.
Well, of course.
I just wanted people to know that, that's not a real photo.
The 17,000 people that are watching here know, Jeff. They know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I tell you, dude, we us as a society, we're so far gone, man. We are so far gone. We can't even determine. We can't even say what is a woman. We can't even do this. We are so cooked as a society, man. We are so cooked. This world is cooked. I don't even know what to say. The only thing I can say is this is why I don't watch it, because it's a joke of a fucking league. Okay, and I'm gonna say it. You can say whatever you want. Davey Portnoy, all this. It could be something good. It could be something good. But the way that it's officiated, the way that certain players are treated, you got this girl out here clotheslining a girl, then pointing and saying it's white privilege. Well, why she got suspended? I'm so sick of it, man. I'm just so sick of it. Just love one another, man. It's not because anybody's this, that, the other. It's just the way that shit happens. I can't imagine going through my life with these goggles on from either side of it and just being like, yeah, we should probably let this 6'5" dude that now says he's a woman that can bench press 325 play against, the 150-pound woman. Yeah, I think, that's where we're at. I think that's a great decision, guys. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I mean, seriously, that
Yeah. So
Can I
I
bring that
think
back up, I mean?
my point is that this is all being talked about, but it's unfortunately distracting from the fact that the game is probably better than it's ever been in terms of women's basketball right now. In terms of the quality of basketball that they play.
Oh,
now,
come on.
I will say this.
I don't know about that, dude. I watched some really bad. It reminds me of really bad high school basketball at times.
No.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch girls' high school basketball?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah. Come on, bro. It's not even close.
Okay, go make your final point here.
I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy. Clean. Look at that. Look at that Euro. That can't be real.
That is real.
Monaco's a nice place.
So is Monte Carlo. Bro, come on. We're just gonna leave that one up there for all the fans out there, guys. Vote down below if you feel like this person should be allowed to compete against women. Just let us know. Even Brittany Griner, the original Joanna man, doesn't have guns like this.
It's like Ian says, I'm all for it as long as I can bet on it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'll give me the over under on that one. Can I get the over under on how many people just get out of its way when it's coming down the lane? Oh, what a world, Jeff. We're going to hell in a handbasket. But it's good to see that Jeffrey is finally on the Jordan train. It's been a long time coming, Jeff. I'm so happy to have you back, bro. I'm so happy to have you back. So happy to be back on the show. I haven't seen you in like 5 months. I don't get invited out anymore. I don't get invited to play golf. I don't get invited for any social soirees that you still do. So at least now that we're back together, Lynn, maybe like a day or two, maybe, we can get together and have a beer here and there. I know that, the fantasy thing definitely, I know you don't like it that I dominate you in fantasy. So I get that, but let's put that aside during the football season. Let's get some golf out there. Let's, the weather's cooling down, hopefully in the next month or so. And then, we're gonna be talking football a couple days a week on the pod here. Got some good stuff coming, man. It's just really good to have you back. It's really good to have you back.
You know what this is?
Moisturizing your thumb.
It's the world's smallest record player playing My Heart Bleeds for You.
It should have been a violin if you really wanted to stick.
Yeah,
that's going to do it for us today on the Uninformed Fan, everybody. I hope you guys all have a great week. We might be back Thursday.
Let's do
or Wednesday.
Wednesday.
All right, we'll be back Wednesday this week at 12 o'clock Eastern time. And then the next week, who knows?
Chad,
at least Monday.
Chad, Wednesday, we're going to start breaking down some divisions and talking about some records on some teams and stuff like that as well, too. So make sure.
No more WNBA talk.
We want your opinion.
That's it. That's it. We want your opinion.
We'll get offline here see if we can sneak off to Vegas real quick. Until then, guys, if you do have to be driving over the couple of days, please, for the love of God, stay out of the left-hand lane.
Be great.